This is the 31st video of this 40-foot aluminum landing craft build. Just want to do a little video today about the plumbing, the septic tank and the water tank. So let's take a walk up in here. Still need to put the glass in the boat here. I'm just really feeling like I'm running out of time. But just got to get this interior done. Get this floor, if I can get this floor buttoned up today. Start building a wall around that bathroom and then across that back wall for the sink and stuff. There's the tub right there and the sink. Let's start here with this water tank. So you know that there's five different spaces in this boat because of these bulkheads. So that's a bulkhead right there. So in this space is the water tank, and so here's the water pump. It's just a pump and runs on 12 volt. That's 1/2 inch line, and then here's where it's pulling it out of the tank. Pretty simple deal on the water tank. And then up here on this end, there's one is the fill and the other is the vent for this tank. I can't quite tell if my phone's focusing on this. So on this water tank, that's just a barbed fitting that's screwed in there, and what it screwed into was molded at the factory. So it's pretty cool about the water tank. Pretty easy, just male pipe threads to a barbed fitting on top of that stuff that's molded in already. So that was pretty easy. And the same goes for where it's sucking it out right there. So it goes to the pump, and then that's the first tee right there, which tees off, and it comes up through the floor for the bathtub. That's the cold water for the bathtub. And then that hose, you can see, runs back to that back wall. So since I'm in this area, let me scoot over here. It's just freaking clusterfuck in here right now, but I just wanted to show this because a lot of people don't know about this stuff, and I had no idea about it before I went to my favorite YouTube channel, or my college is where I learn everything, is YouTube. Just an amazing thing. You can learn anything on YouTube. So for the tub here, what's going on is I couldn't afford the big brass connector that connects the overflow to the drain out of the tub. So this is like a $18 thing where your overflow is actually faked. Nothing will come out of there. It's just got a chrome cap on the other side. And I rigged this so that it can go straight overboard, and that's already connected to a through hole fitting already that's well above the water line. Or you can close that blue valve over there and open this one, and it can come around, and it turns right here and goes down, and it can go to the septic tank. So the bathtub and the sink, which is going to be over there, and the toilet goes to the septic tank. Now the toilet, that's the only place it can go to. I decided not to go overboard with the toilet because I have a macerator pump that I can pump out this septic tank anytime I want. So the toilet goes straight to the septic tank, but the bathtub and the kitchen sink, I wanted to be able to go overboard. So that's the way it's set up right now, is just to go overboard. And you just use biodegradable stuff on your hair and your skin, and it doesn't harm the water. Okay, so let's move on over here. So that line comes and it turns and it goes down beside the tub underneath it, just in this platform that I built. One reason I built that platform was to make sure that that tub was high enough to self-drain and be above the water line a good ways. Okay, so come down here, and that 3/4 comes out right there, and that's the tub drain. And then it jumps into, this is the main inlet for sewage into the septic tank. This is a tank saver, and this is a vent. Now, this tank saver, you know, it really doesn't make sense to me even still, but I bought the thing and put it in anyway. But apparently when you suck out at the dock side clean out, which is down here, it has so much power that it can actually collapse the tank. So one is the macerator pump, which I can go overboard with, and the other is the dock pump out. But my thing is about this tank saver is if you have a vent, which you do, right beside it, how the hell could it ever collapse that fucking tank? It could never collapse that tank because the vent line is open to the atmosphere. So just doesn't really make sense to me. So anyway, there's the main dump in on the tank. Let's come back over here. Here's the 3/4, and I reduced it from 1.5" off the tub to 3/4 because it's just cheaper. I'm on a budget. And let's come down here and you can see underneath it. So on the one on the right is the 3/4 dumping in. The one on the left, the T, is the 3/4 coming from the kitchen sink back over this way. So I just kind of wanted to show that, and then we're dumping in. So it was, you know, kind of difficult to do because you got all this plywood and then you got the platform, and I actually even made a mistake right here. That little sliver of plywood right there, I was supposed to cut a hole in this piece of plywood before and then slide it back in, and I didn't. So that little sliver there, I just cut that little sliver, and I may put a piece of 3/4 inch plywood over that. It ain't no big deal. I mean, you know, goddamn, it's a fairly complicated process with trying to get your plywood laid down. You know, I mean, I laid down big sheets of plywood in this thing, but then I've had to, you know, cut it here and cut this piece here and have a small piece here, and then, you know, just to kind of puzzle piece this thing together. There's the hot water tank that'll be underneath this kitchen countertop. The kitchen countertop, it sticks out to about right there and comes across. It's like 25 inches off of this back wall. So there's where the 3/4 inch stubs up for the kitchen drain that could go to the septic tank. And then, like I say, there's the tub that can go to the septic tank or overboard. Now these two things are the only things. The kitchen, here's coming off the bottom of the sink when I put it in. I've got a valve there, and coming off the bottom will be another little blue valve that I can close so that the kitchen sink could go overboard or it could go to the septic tank. The problem is I don't have outboard for this boat, and so there's a chance that the harbor master might not let me be in the harbor because they want your boat to be mobile. And if that's the case, I mean, worst case scenario, I mean, I'm going to try and find an inlet or somebody's private dock that I could maybe rent from them to tie up to. And if that's not it, worst case scenario, maybe go to a mobile home park. And that's why the kitchen sink and the tub is routed to where it goes into the septic tank. Because if I go to a mobile home park and park for a little while, if they'll let me, until I could buy some outboard motors, at least one anyway, all I need is like a 65 horse or something like that, just to make me mobile. I want to be able to have the tub and the sink and the toilet go into the septic tank, right? And then at the mobile home park, you know, I have this hose here goes to this macerator pump, which is right there, and then it goes out. This is the dock pump out on the right, and that's the macerator where it'll be hooked up to that through hole fitting. So you just take that through hole fitting off, and you just come off of that 1-inch right there off the macerator pump and stuff a hose out the side of this thing, and I could hook right up to a septic system, which is pretty cool. So that's the reasoning behind, you know, making it more complicated to plumb right now. But if I need those options, at least they're available to me. And that's a 110 powered hot water heater that'll go underneath the cabinet here. And so there'll be a wall basically right here all the way back and then up, and a door going into the bathroom. And won't get too much into that because it's kind of hard to follow right now, but just wanted to show a little bit on this septic system, and that pretty much covers it. I have these two fittings here on the water tank that I still need to, I have the hose for it, and I have the through hole fittings, which will go to the right of me. They'll come over here. Through hole fitting, matter of fact, one of them is right here. This is the water. It's a through hole fitting, and then hook the hose right up to that, put a clamp on it and be good. The vent will be a through hole fitting like this. And what I like about this is it's a 90-degree fitting. So anyway, it goes out and then straight down. Just an easier way to tuck the hose in. So on the tub real quick, I guess I can show this. I decided to throw a piece of metal on the tub right here, and I have a couple pieces of rubber underneath it just for shits and grins, and welded that fully and then ground that nice and smooth. And then I decided, well, let's just come across with one over here. It's bowing just a little bit is why you can see the light, but I've got a hole drilled right there. As soon as that plywood goes on the back side of that, I'll screw that to it. So that's two sides for sure that can never leak, and it's just kind of something I did real quick that I think is pretty cool. That whole side right there, I mean, I thought it would be kind of cool to polish, you know, this aluminum up and into a mirror-like polish. And it's not that hard to do with an electric buffer. You buff that out, and that would be pretty cool inside there. And that as well, you know, you could polish that up. But you know, taking baths and shit, it's gonna tarnish pretty quick. But electric buffer, buff that stuff right up. So anyway, I'll show a couple more in the next few days. I'm gonna get these walls built up, and I just wanted to show it before I buttoned it up here. Let me talk real quick about these fittings. Sorry. These fittings, you see the rubber that's underneath the white piece right there. You drill a 3-inch hole, and that rubber piece is kind of tapered. And so when this 90 pushes in there, there's no glue, no nothing. It just, you pop the rubber piece in there, the black piece, and then you push this other stuff in there, which these have tubes that go to the bottom of the tank to pick up. It's a tapered fit, and so there's no leakage, there's no glue, no nothing. Same for the tank saver, same for the vent and the inlet there. They're different size holes, but you just this elbow has about 1.5 inch stub on it, and the black rubber is tapered. And so when you push that down in there, it pushes up around, you know, it makes it tight, in other words. And I heard bad shit about this white hose. It was all I could afford. I guess the expensive sewage hose is like $1 an inch or something crazy like that. So this white hose, and that's another reason why most of these lines are PVC. After a year or two, this white hose supposedly will start letting the septic smell come through it. And to try and alleviate that problem, there is not even, I mean, each one of these are barbed fittings that almost touch inside that white hose. So I just really tried to limit the amount of that white hose. Now, obviously these two white hoses are longer, but they're really easy to get to. And so if they start stinking, that's an easy fix, because it's right here at the back of the boat. It's going to be under the sink. Super easy to get to, and just an easy fix. And but that's the main reason why I did most of the run in PVC, because it'll never permeate the smell. So anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.